Mark hit us with the $3.99 with a pair. Maybe putting out pair. Oh, coffee. Well, that looks like coffee.
Today's hot take. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it.
Today's hot take is going to be a good one because it was Eric McCabe. We're going to try something different. Well, we tried a little bit different last time, but this time it'll be a little bit better, different. Is that Eric McCabe has the hot take, and
nice.
Neither Robert nor myself know what it is. So
I don't even know what it is.
So we're going to organically have our argument.
Okay, but it's important.
Yes.
So you say it.
It does not involve mammals.
Okay, that's good. Thank you for that.
Primates.
Nor marsupials. Anyway, so you have to say it.
And then give my take on it.
You say your stance and then the take, and then we're ready.
Well, I'll say the take first.
Well, yeah. That's what I'm saying. And then you defend it for a second.
Yeah, 1 second.
Let's call it a minute.
Okay. I could probably do it.
Also, I went and looked at the video we shot earlier, 59 seconds.
Yes, I saw that too.
What?
I'm like, what are the chances?
Whoa, with no clock or anything.
New find on Netflix. If you like Conan O'Brien, I watched this Conan Without Borders, I think it was called.
Oh, yeah, where he travels?
The first one was in Cuba. I cracked up laughing.
I am a Conan fan.
His sense of humor is just, he's
been
hilarious.
A Conan fan since back in the day when he had Max Weinberg on the show.
Okay.
Dude, Max Weinberg.
When he was the drummer. He was
Max Weinberg and the Weinberg 7 or something.
That was it. I'm a fan.
I like that hot take, Chaser.
He says fun of my own self.
He said Eric McCabe's hot take: players competing in any PDGA sanctioned event must have a beard. Yes,
there's going to be some beard news coming to GBO.
Ooh.
About a potential fundraiser,
Ooh.
a potential shaving of not just my beard, but a couple other pretty lengthy beards that are involved with dynamic discs.
Dang,
is this Danny and I?
Yeah, it was specifically.
It very well could be. It very well could.
You guys would have needed to started your growing
Joshua,
beard
that's the joke.
Yeah, just don't shave since high school.
No, we're gonna shave ours, and you have to wear ours.
Can we say the people that are gonna do it?
How much I gotta pay?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
I want to wait. On
because
that.
they don't know about
Not
it yet.
They don't know.
Because the way that they're going to trick him into it is just Eric's going to be working at his. Let's assume that Eric doesn't know that he is one of the guys.
Yeah.
We'll just walk in with a razor and just go bzz, bzz, just on one side. All right, you're participating now.
These guys though, we could just take full on loppers and just go.
Yep. True.
I love that sound effect.
Jerome,
is that all the super chats?
Jerome, yes, it is. Jerome, you are dreaming if you think that my hair is ever going to be a part of that. You are dreaming.
Paul Reeves. So Paul Reeves on? Do we know? Maybe I'll wait till we actually record to thank him for this disc, this Lucid X Trespass.
A guy reached out to me and said that he's sending over a wooden disc golf audio logo.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Now, he said new logo, so maybe it's like completely new. Who knows?
Maybe it's not.
I love it already.
We'll see.
All right, we ready, Anthony?
I love it.
We are ready over
here?
I
guess we can just go when we need to, huh? Or you need to hit record on the Hooyah.
Yeah.
The what now?
I'm good whenever. The Hooyah.
The Hooyah. We're trying a little bit different technically so that we don't have to battle with the audio.
Oh, okay.
Other than the whatever. So what do you think? You think it's the connection on the sling?
It's either it's got to be the plug-in there. Yeah.
Okay. Well, good thing now we have three backups.
Right.
Austin asked us the after show dead, and we had talked about it a little bit last week.
It's not going to be like a regular thing. Like we're trying out this hot takes thing. That's kind of the after show in a sense. If there's, I think the after show will kick in once the disc golf season gets going and we have like more things to talk about that aren't question answer related. If that makes sense.
Right. We will still take a few minutes in between Disc Golf Answer Man and Disc Golf Hot Takes.
Sure.
To interact with you guys on the chat board.
Right.
So
cool. All right, we ready?
Yes.
All right, go ahead and hit that record button, Anthony. Hey, everybody, welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man. I am Bobby Cool Daddy Slick Breeze. I have with me Eric.
What's up?
Hand-eye.
Wow.
Dude, hand-eye,
we've got a hand-eye.
I do.
Thanks for the idea.
I thought you were going to finish that.
Oh. We'll always wear a hoodie.
I will not always wear a hoodie.
Okay, no, he won't always wear it.
Until the addendum there, I was on board.
Was you on board?
I was feeling it.
And then Robert's Ancient Team Dynamic Disc Hoodie McCall.
Whoa.
I always do that.
This is like what,
It's not that ancient.
It's like a year old.
I was
say
watching
2
your
years,
video,
maybe.
the video you made, and
Oh,
you made reference that it was an older one. So
He
that
looked
made me
old.
think of
It
it.
is older.
But it's a good one. Those were
is.
super popular. Those
Those-
double
Yes.
tone.
Those are my absolute favorite
Yeah.
hobby of all time.
Because they're
So
real
when we-
soft inside.
And you
When
got
we
phone
made them
holes.
again, I bought 2 more.
I probably have like
Nice.
5 of those,
Heck yeah.
different colors.
Nice. All right, well, guys, we're back with another episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man, and Danny has a reaction. Oh, sorry.
Human fall flat.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
No.
Speaking of human fall flat, we had our first gaming session last Thursday where Anthony... Last Wednesday, Anthony, Danny, Robert, and Temp or Jacob, our graphic designer, one of our graphic designers,
How'd it
got
go?
on and played a video game, and I got mad because I wish I was playing because they were having a grand old time. They were laughing.
Isn't that part of it though? Like watching?
It is, but the whole time I'm thinking, man, that looks fun. I want to be playing it. So
Oh, you just have to be involved.
what is this?
Where is this hostility coming from?
Does this come down on Bobby time?
I will
What?
say mechanically, the game is not the easiest to pick up, and I would have enjoyed
like to
seeing
see-
Bobby struggle
Yeah, I would
with
love
it
to see that.
because all of us also struggled with it.
Oh, yeah.
Was it hard?
Since we all
It's-
struggle, we know Bobby's going to struggle even more. Is that what we're getting?
I'm saying, like, mouse and keyboard is a different story, my man. It is.
So anyway, I won't be able to do it this Wednesday, but maybe I can figure out some way. I think didn't you figure out we could play? I could play it on the laptop. Did you find that out, Danny? I can't remember. I think so. Okay, so maybe I'll try to figure something out because it did look like a fun game. So anyway, that can be found at twitch.com/dynamicdiscs.
Twitch.tv.
Twitch.tv/dynamicdiscs. These are just things we're just kind of having fun experimenting with. I don't know how many more of these we'll do, unless we can figure out how we can get Uno, because we're waiting for it to go on sale.
Once Uno goes on sale, you can expect to see us.
Like the original Uno?
Yes, you literally just play a game of Uno,
Yeah.
But on the computer.
but on a computer.
It's going to be great.
What? I think
No,
it'd be
it's just
fun.
weird.
We're
It
just gonna-
is.
We're just going to wager on who wins.
I like that. I would rather just do it right here one day.
Okay, interested.
That's stupid. I'm teasing.
Well, my phone doesn't
phone-
work right now, so
Apparently
obviously
not.
technology is failing.
I have the Oculus Go, and I used to play poker all
You
the
used to
time.
play Uno on that?
Yeah, no, poker. That was fun. Anyway, so
What kind of poker?
join us. Huh?
Nothing.
Texas Hold'em. I used to play Texas Hold'em
All
on
right.
there.
Good.
Um,
Is that how you got so good at poker?
right, yes. Hey, I won
That's
one
what
time.
I'm saying.
Yeah, I haven't played since. So,
tired.
anyway, we have the video game session on Wednesdays. We'll do it again this Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central. So join us if you would like to. Tell your friends. We have a good time. Play some video games. Talk a little disc golf. Probably talk about some of these new discs that are coming out. We'll talk about that a little bit later on the show.
Nice.
But, yeah, we've rambled enough. Quick updates. Eric, what have you been doing lately?
What have I been doing lately?
Exactly what I was just thinking.
I have not been doing a whole heck of a lot lately. I mean, I've obviously been doing a lot with the team and finalizing some courses that are coming up. But I do want to give a shout out to Jerome, who's actually on the chat right now. He sent me some worms. Like I got worms.
I got worms.
Like I even brought
My
one.
new show.
Oh, nice.
Like these guys right here. I don't know if my camera's on or not, but
Are they for a specific fish or something? Or
not necessarily. It's a certain technique
oh,
for
okay.
fishing. Like there's different styles. Like this is the wacky worms. Like you get, it's a rig how you put it up and fish for.
Do they get on
certain
the
bass.
hook and they just kinda
basically
go?
it's for bass.
Is it like the wacky inflatable?
Similar.
Okay.
Similar. We'll have to go out and I'll show you sometime.
Okay.
It's not on a computer or anything though, so
Yeah.
I hope you're gonna be
Then I'm
okay
out.
with that. We're gonna
I'm
be
out.
outside. But I just want to give a shout out to him. Yeah, he sent me some worms, and I am pretty excited for the weather to turn and get a little bit warmer, so I can get out there and try them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What about you, Robert?
Man, the only thing that I remember doing this weekend vividly was ripping out our shower.
I remember it vividly as well.
Bobby was trying to
I remember
think of that.
hearing it vividly.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's no big deal.
But yeah, we're renovating our bathroom and taking out there's a huge bathtub there. We're putting a shower in there instead. But there's a tiny shower that's currently in there. We're taking that out and putting in a closet, like a linen closet, which we don't currently have. So we ripped out the shower, and it was fun.
Nice.
Bathroom's still kind of dirty from it, but whatever.
What did I do this weekend? I went to a keto hack class at Natural Grocers.
Natural grocery.
Topeka?
In Topeka.
Mhm, I've been
That
there.
was pretty cool. I learned about adaptogens and a herbal supplement called ashwagandha root. And I don't know how many times when the lady was talking about it, I wanted to go Wakanda forever. I wanted to do that so bad.
Did you?
But I did not.
Oh.
So anyway, so that's what we've been up to. Let's get to some disc golf questions. As we've said before, Anthony has gone through, and we're trying to be a little more picky, well, a lot more picky with our questions because we want to make sure we have quality questions for you guys. So if you ask the question and it doesn't get answered on the show, we're going to try to at least try to email you something from thegamform@gmail.com. So you can get some answers to that, but we're not going to put them on the show. So don't be disappointed. You still might get an answer to your question.
But just assume that your question wasn't worth answering.
Right.
Just kidding.
That's one way to look at it.
Just kidding.
I prefer to look at it a different way. This first one is from Justin, and this is about release trajectory.
Nice.
I've been playing for a little bit under a year, and when I first started, I would throw mostly nose up. I worked hard on fixing that, and now the majority of the time I throw nose down. My issue now is that I tend to release most of my throws with a low angle of trajectory, closer to the ground versus up to the sky. They tend to not go above 8 to 10 feet off the ground, but when I watch pros, they seem to throw really high into the sky and still manage to get really good distance. Would their throws be further if they threw them with a lower trajectory? Or is the slightly raised trajectory needed for further distance? What are the pros and cons for different angles of trajectory? Thanks so much. That's chapter 1. Let me get chapter 2. I'm teasing. I kid. So what do you got for them, guys?
What do you think?
What do you think?
I mean, I'll tell you what I think right
You
now.
tell me what you think, right?
Okay. I'm going to say it.
Okay.
You do need some height to get the full flight out of a disc. The reason for that is the reason that pros can throw a little bit higher is that they are achieving that nose down angle while still throwing it higher in the air. Nose down or at least level to the ground angle. That allows them to throw a little bit farther. Partner that with superior speed and spin and acceleration. That's why you see them throw 500, 600 feet and so on. They would not throw farther if they threw it closer to the ground because when they're throwing those big max distance shots, like full flight, full flex type shots, the disc needs room to actually be able to bank down a little bit while it's riding that Anheuser and then finish over to the left. If they threw it too low, it wouldn't have any room to do that. So
Science.
Yeah, so there it is.
That's what it really comes down to.
It is important. Now, since you said you've gotten the nose down and you're letting the shots go a little bit lower, that's good. Try and work that trajectory up just a little bit more, but make sure that the nose angle is still down because if it's not, you'll just start losing distance if you start throwing higher. Good question.
Excellent. Do you concur?
That may be one of the
I
first
concur.
questions we had.
Yeah, it was really good. Hey, Chaser.
That was the first question that was really good.
That was a good one.
Way to insult all the other questions, Robert.
No. Like I'm
Dang.
just saying, like that's a good leadoff question. Speaking of, Chaser has a $2 super chat. He says, "Make Bobby say trajectory 5 times fast, please."
No. Next one comes
Well,
from
then refund him.
Thanks for the $2, Chaser. Sorry we couldn't make your dreams come true.
Oh, he gave $2 Snapchat. Super chat.
$2 Snapchat. It's a new thing.
Let's go.
You
In
can do
3,
Red
2,
leather, good
1.
leather,
No,
bad
no.
no. Red leather, yellow leather, good blood, bad blood.
Good warm up. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Go.
Trajectory. Not too bad, huh?
That was actually pretty good.
Fuck it.
Was that 4 times?
I think that was only 4 times.
It was only 4 times, so.
You sure?
Yes,
Trajectory.
nailed it. You're like the Finnish people who have a small pause in the middle of the word when you say that.
Because there's 2 C's. Trajectory.
On to the next.
We were taught that when there's 2 consonants together,
Yes.
there's a
or
pause.
vowels.
Or vowels. Like toonie is not toonie, it's toonie.
Teeny.
Toonie. All right, next one is from Alex. He is asking about proto discs. Been using a prototype putter for a few weeks now. This disc was approved by the PDGA this week. Will I be able to use my prototypes in a sanctioned tournament, or do I have to purchase and use the actual named disc once they become available for purchase?
Oh, that's a good
We
question.
were just talking about this morning.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the mold that's being approved. So this question comes up quite a bit when people ask about possible new plastic types as well. Like, for instance, if a Saint comes out in a new plastic, is it PDGA approved? Yes, because it's the mold that's actually approved. So as soon as that prototype mold is approved, assuming that they didn't have any changes to it, I mean, I guess even if it was PDGA approved, even if they quit making that disc, it's still PDGA approved.
Right.
So yes, you can absolutely continue to use that until it falls apart.
Yes, that's true. For new discs, unless the PDGA changed something,
Which they always are.
since last year, but we had this same question come up when some discs were released and they weren't made widely available for a little while. And from what we understand, based on how the PDGA rule is written, once a disc is approved, as long as it's not within a month before Worlds, which we are well outside of a month before Worlds, then once a disc is approved, anybody who has it can use it in a sanctioned event. So if you've got a prototype putter that you're wanting to use, you may use it, assuming that it is PDGA approved.
Correct.
I want to thank Paul Reeves real quick. He sent me this disc with a dye job on it of my face.
Yeah.
And it's Keeping It Real, Disc Golf Answer Man, and it's a Lucid X Trespass. So it will be going in my bag. So thank you so much for that, Paul. I can't wait for the weather to turn nice and for me to get this out. I look a little tired, though.
I was
Yeah.
just
Can I
going to
mimic-
ask,
can I
where
mimic-
did he get
I
this
don't know.
screenshot?
It
I
has
can't
to be
remember where
from
he
like
got this from.
when it was the thing to have your profile picture in like a cartoony line drawing. That's what that looks like. It was from that time.
I put this in the mail to the commercial. Oh, wait. He said something in here. He said, thank you for the subscription boosting video. That's where I got the image.
Oh, sweet. All right, cool.
You need to grow your beard back.
Oh, yeah. I have my beard more over there.
Hey, speaking of questions, Reyes Lopez sent over $5. Thank you, Reyes. He says, will fluid plastic ever come back? We may have some small runs of it from time to time, like through the custom run program, but as a production plastic, it's unlikely to come back at this point.
All right. So let's get back to the questions. How many speak pipe questions do we have, Anthony?
We have 6.
Let's go ahead and have one of those for me, please.
Okay, this first one is coming to us from Gio.
Nat Geo?
Hey, Disc Golf Answer Man. It's Gio again. I had another question, but this one is in regards to having amateur state champion tournaments. So in the world of road bike racing again, we would have state championships like the Florida or the Georgia state championships. And it was great. You know, it was kind of what motivated a lot of people to race, a lot of people to train. You know, because you wanted that title of state champion for your category for the year. And a lot of times that's kind of how people would know when to move up. When they won the state championship in, you know, category 4, which would be the equivalent to like rec, they knew they would need, they should bump up to intermediate. So that was really cool. You know, the winner of the state championship would win a jersey with that state's flag on it, which was really sweet. That they could wear on their group rides or you know, their races if they truly wanted to. But I noticed we don't really have that in disc golf. So I'm kind of curious on why not. I mean, kind of what are your thoughts on it? You know, me personally, I think it's a great idea. But yeah, what's your 2 cents? Thanks for the show. I love what you guys do. Bye.
There's some states that still do their state, like Kansas State Championship still has an event up in Beloit every year, and it's actually a really fun event. I don't even think it's sanctioned by the PDGA. I think it's just a camping weekend where you can go and have a great time and win a cool trophy with all the past champions' name on it.
Yeah.
You get to keep it for a year. It's pretty cool, actually. And then another one that comes to mind is the Texas State Championships, which travels around, but it's not geared just for Texans, if that makes sense. I don't think they necessarily consider that
Anybody
person the
could go.
Texas State champ. I mean, this year it's a national tour. It kicks off the NTs, so all the top dogs are going to be at this event. So it's not like it's just structured. I think it'd be challenging to structure it to where it's just for people in that state.
Only residents.
I think that could be very challenging. I don't think there's going to be some states that are going to have success, and then other ones that are going to be, well, you know, a lot of people to really the event is based off how many people come in from out of state too.
Yeah.
So it's very challenging. I don't necessarily think that event, if we go to that is the event that people should base their, I should move up to the next division if I won this state championship. I don't think I don't think we're there. We're definitely not there. I mean, if you think about, you know, how small our sport actually still is, I don't think we're anywhere close to being at that level. I feel like if you just happen to win a PDGA sanctioned event, that's grounds for moving up a division, as opposed to just a state event.
Yeah, for sure. What division do you think Jackie Chin should move to after winning Open and having his first rating ever be 1040?
Well, there's only one division he can play in.
Super Open?
That's the only one.
He and Macbeth are there together.
That's just those two. He looks just like Macbeth when he throws. So
Dude,
he's
his-
obviously been watching form.
Did you
His
watch?
swing is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Like raw power. He's a player.
I haven't
dude.
watched anything. I want to watch.
I only watched a couple clips, but
Yes,
from
that's what I
Terry's
said.
video.
for Terry's.
I want to watch
well,
that. To
he
see more
hasn't
about
come
him.
out. It's Terry, so his
Right.
video will come out next year.
Right.
But no, I'm kidding.
We're picking on you, Terry. We love you, Terry.
I love you, Terry Bear. You're not watching though because you're probably sleeping.
And he doesn't like us.
Yeah,
Dang.
but no, I'm excited for that footage to come out. I want to watch that for sure.
Yeah. He
I mean, I think that's probably going to be one of his most viewed videos.
Was that Jackie's?
second?
it was a
first-
second event.
second tournament.
But
But-
his first rating ever, like, came out today.
Oh.
1040.
Do we know how he did on the first event?
I can find it.
I
in
think he
just a
got
minute.
second to
Yeah.
Manabu, maybe.
I think
Does
I'm
that
pretty
sound
sure
right?
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll double check real quick and update us in a second.
Did the video say anything about like his plans? Is he planning to play more? Is this just an anomaly? Or
I
what?
want to say
Well,
he
he's
was
local.
Yeah, he was doing like a semi tour or something like that. He wants to play some more this year.
Mm-hmm.
But-
It's going to be. I don't know. I don't know anything about the guy. Like I don't know who he. I know he throws like a mixed bag for the most part. I don't think he's sponsored
Mm-hmm.
by anybody, but it'll be interesting to see.
That was just like it almost looked fake when
Wait.
you went to the PDGA results for the tournament.
Just in case
Eh.
people don't know, tell them what the deal is, though. They may not know who this Jackie Chan is.
Okay, yeah. So recently at the let me make sure that I'm saying it correct. I believe it was the Asia Open. Yeah,
Yes.
2020 Asia Open. Okay, as a B tier over there, we saw results start to get posted of who had done well there.
Mm-hmm.
And at the 2020 Asia Open, first place it was Jackie Jacky Chen, not Chan, Chen, Chen. Low, like recent PDGA number, no rating, beat like James Conrad,
Yeah.
Philo Brathwaite, Nate Perkins, like a pretty decent field over there. So it almost Manabu Kajiyama was playing out there, like lots of players who can play. So it almost looked fake. It was like, hey, this will be a funny joke that somebody named Jackie Chan won, you know.
Or
But
somebody put the scores in wrong.
yeah,
Is what a lot of people were asking too. I saw.
yeah, but it's legit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a baller. So
So what you're saying? I'm sorry.
That's all good. So he ended up winning the Asia Open by one shot over both Nate Perkins and Philo, and then 3 over James Conrad. Only a second tournament lifetime. His first one. Let me check this.
Biggest
out real quick.
rating jump in history.
Well, it doesn't even have his first tournament in here.
It was last year. It was
Okay.
in September last year. He got second to Manabu.
Oh, there you go. I didn't have it up. Yeah. Actually, in 2018 is what it says.
Yep, it's 2020 now.
But yeah. So 2 tournaments, first rating ever. Wait
That's
for
crazy.
it. 1040.
Anyway.
What a baller.
If you want to learn more, you can go on Terry's Facebook page, and he posted
It's
a video
impressive.
about that. All right, let's get back to the questions. This one's from Clay. He had some issues with the tournament director. He says, "Hey, DeGamily, DeGamily family, I like that. Recently, my daughter was in a local B tier tournament. Lots of pros showed up, and it was a huge event. 230 plus entries. That's a
Dope.
good size event. Issues started to rise from the first email from the TD. He had issues with caddy books, typos on the rules in the books, and even issues with the payouts. My question is, does the PDGA accept feedback in regards to TDs? To that question, yes. I can't remember the email or if you can. There's a clickable link or somewhere, but yes, there is a specific topic of issues with TDs or TD feedback that you can find. We'll try to find it and put a link in the description. Also, he says, are there certain guidelines a TD is to follow, or is it free-for-all? Yes, of course, there are guidelines for TDs. That's why they're sanctioned, because when you enter into a sanctioned event, it's sort of an agreement saying that I pay extra money so that there are certain guidelines in place.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes on to say, the easy answer would be to just keep an eye out for this guy's tournament and not play them. What are your thoughts? Am I a big whiner? Well, yes, you are. No, you're not a big whiner. I know it can be frustrating, and yes, that's just one way you can. If this person continue now, we're only hearing your side of the story. I completely understand that. I'm a very empathetic guy on stuff like this. I don't know what that guy's side of the story is, but If this guy continues to try to run tournaments and they are not well-run tournaments, then yes, you have the power to vote, and that is to not play his tournaments. Next one comes from Tim. This one's on distance judgment. I've been playing disc golf for a little under a year, and my game is progressing nicely thanks to you guys. Oh,
Sweet.
he
Thanks,
said
Tim.
specifically me.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's weird. But
I
thanks.
can't see your computer, so
It's
I
okay.
can't
You
tell
don't
you
need
if
to.
you're, I
It's
can't
okay.
tell if you're
Just
telling
trust
the truth.
me.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely trust you.
One thing I've been having issues with is judging the distance to basket. I have that problem too. During disc selection, one time Eric yelled at me because of that. Do any of you
That was like
use
10 years ago.
or recommend rangefinders during a round, or do most people simply feel the distance through experience? Thanks, keepers of the real, and keep up the good work.
Dude, I like the title Keepers of the Real.
Keepers of the real. It's just missing the M. Keepers of the realm.
Can you crank up that bass real quick? No, we don't have to do that. Okay.
What are your thoughts on rangefinders? I know they're legal.
Mm-hmm. They are. As of a rule change a few years ago now. I used one when I played at the Triples tournament down in Texas, just because there's some par 4s and par 5s out there, and I wanted to have, a decent idea of what they were. And most of the time, just based on experience, when I shot them, I was within, 20 feet or something like that. But that comes with having thrown those shots, thousands of times.
Yeah.
I think it's just like anything else, that sort of depth perception, that comes with time. That sort of judgment comes with time, where I'm not like, if you told me to go out on the field and throw a disc 200 feet, I could probably do that with some type of precision just because we've thrown lots of shots. But I liked having a rangefinder just because then it took the guesswork out of it. Like, I can use my brain to focus on my angle of release or something different, or not use my brain at all. I can just shoot that basket and be like, okay, that's 210 feet. That's the shot I need to throw. I don't know. I like using one. I probably will the next ones that I go to.
Nah.
Eric doesn't like it.
I'm not a fan.
Talk about it.
I'm not a fan, I think, because I guess maybe just I've never really used one, and I'm more of a feel player. Like, I think this could be a hot take. I feel like that they should be banned from PDGA.
Ooh.
I can dig it.
And because, one, potentially takes up more time. Granted, I suppose if you
still have the same.
if you want to use your rangefinder and then address your light and then throw within a 30 seconds, sure.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't get extra time.
Oh, I agree.
But I don't know. I just feel like I personally would rather see us go to course markers on nicer courses where it's like, all right, well, these red stakes mean I'm 75 feet or whatever the case
whatever
may be.
it is.
I know that they do it in golf where it's 200.
They do that
200 yards, 100 yards, 150.
150, yeah.
Something like that. So I think that would be more of where I'd like to see the sport go, as opposed to using a rangefinder to see how far out I am. I'd rather just have a good feel for it. I feel like I've been playing long enough now that I just have a good feel for how far I am. Sure, there's deceiving holes, and a rangefinder's not going to be 100% accurate all the time either. So that's just kind of.
I've never used one. Does it take into account elevation?
It depends on which ones you buy.
Yeah. I do think there's something to what you said, though, like playing by feel. Whether you can say that a basket is 230 feet away or not, or whether you can throw a disc to that basket, those are two different skills. Obviously, throwing to that basket is a more important one. If using a rangefinder helps you to do that, I say go for it. Yep. But it's probably good to develop that feel just for in case you don't have that rangefinder or you're short on time or something like that.
And a good way to do that is on like a football field where you can actually see hash marks and know how far you're throwing.
Yep.
All right, guys, this is a reminder that disc golf match play season is slowly approaching. And the player pack, if you don't know, as a player, you pay $45 to play in a bracket, and you receive a Fusion Burst Raider. Oh, I bet you that's going to be good. And a Latitude 64 Retro Moonshine Pure. I know everybody loves a Pure, so Moonshine's going to be money. So make sure that you check out discgolfmatchplay.com to find out all the information. A lot of things are going to be happening over the next couple weeks as far as match play. Danny, in fact, I'm looking over his computer. He's working on some videos talking about match play. So get yourself set up. Go to discgolfmatchplay.com to find out if there's a bracket going on in your area and all that fun stuff. It's going to be good times. All right, let's get back to the questions. Let's see. By the way, that hot take was added to our list of future ones because I think that would be good. This one's from Gabe. He has a question about Tour Series discs. Hey, guys, I have a quick question about the Lucid X Tour Series discs. What qualifies a Dynamic Discs team member to be able to have a Tour Series disc in the Lucid X plastic? Does a player have to play really well in tournaments or something like that? One of the main players that made me think this was Chris Clemens. Is there not a specific disc he would want in the Lucid X plastic, or does he just not have the opportunity right now to have a Tour Series disc? Just curious, because if he had a Tour Series disc, I would buy like 5 of them because he is my favorite player. Tour Series disc, Tour Series disc, Tour Series. Why do you guys have to put the thing in 15 million times?
Search engine optimization, man. Come on.
In a Google form?
Come on, man.
So you'll be pleasantly not surprised, but you'll, maybe be surprised. As a matter of fact, Chris Clemens does have a Lucid X disc, the Lucid X Verdict, which I know that he's super pumped about. In fact, we've been working on promos for that because that is coming up very soon as well. What?
Just a comment. You're good.
Oh, as well as the other Lucid X discs. We have got coming back is, of course, the Lucid X Felon for Eric Oakley. Eric McCabe has the EMAC X Truth.
And I'll tell you what.
Lucid X EMAC Truth.
That one, too.
It's going to be
semantics.
Freaking amazing.
I'm always down for semantics.
And then the AJ Risley Lucid X War Den.
Dude,
super excited.
You know I'm hyped about that.
That's going to be a big hype one. Who am I missing? Zach Melton has, the Lucid X Maverick. And then Paige Shu for this year went with the Lucid X Sheriff. So a lot more information coming out about those. We're even going to plan a throw video. We're going to see us throwing some of these discs so you can kind of get an idea.
But to kind of answer your question, how do you get one as a tour? Basically, kind of just have to be a touring player on our team. I mean, there's not I wouldn't say that we've gone through and put stipulations down on how or what involves that, but it's basically geared for those people that are actually on our tour team. So
here's a question from Richard: building a bag at higher elevation. I think maybe, in fact, Danny, you might take a note. This would be a good video to put together for our how-to basic stuff.
Yeah, Danny, go to the top of the hill and throw shots down.
Demonstrate. He says, I'm starting a new job at a higher elevation, 4,500-ish area, and want to keep playing. I play an occasional tournament at lower elevation, 300 feet. I'm still pretty new. Throwing fairway drivers around 300 feet. Should I build a different bag for higher elevation and a separate for lower? How much of a difference will this elevation affect my discs?
It will definitely affect your disc.
Absolutely will.
I'm not sure I would build an entirely different bag, but
they should just throw it full of EMAX.
There you go. Lucid X. Buy several of those, some Lucid ones, putt with the Biofusion ones. Anyway, I do think you should keep a lot of the discs that are kind of your go-to, but just know that at elevation they're going to act more overstable than they will at lower elevation.
Yeah.
So when we went up to Denver for the stadium experience, we played one of the courses up there, and my Maverick is a little bit, I'll let it go on a little bit of hyzer. It'll stand up to flat and move to the right all the way. And up there, it was almost like an Explorer, like really, really straight, hyzer to just straight, and even finish a little bit. And so instead of switching out your whole bag, kind of just move slots one way or the other. So if you are at elevation and your Maverick is normally straight, but then you go down to closer to sea level, it's going to be more understable. So pack some more overstable stuff when you go down there, or maybe not even overstable, but like throw an Explorer in there, throw a Getaway in there, with the knowledge that Explorer will probably fly kind of close to how your Maverick would.
Yeah,
at elevation.
Like you said, I wouldn't recommend a entire bag, but just a handful of discs, really. And know that when I played elevation, I noticed the disc that I like to throw for a roller has suddenly become like my long straight flying or
Yes.
late right turn disc.
Right.
So
All right, Anthony, what's up next on the old speak pipe? I was going to say skip ace.
This one is from Jonas.
Hey, Disc Golf fans, man. This is Jonas Marshall from Nebraska. I've been listening to your show for as long as I can remember, and I've noticed that I've been having trouble with my putting after the winter years. I've been really outside of 25 feet. At 25 and out, I just seem to putt really nose down and into the ground and hit the face mask of the basket all the time. I can't seem to get my aim right. I was just wondering what tips you have, whether it's discs, do I change my putting stance, or what should I do to try and fix my putting? Love to hear what you guys have to say, and love listening to you guys. Thanks, guys.
What do you guys think?
so basically he's just asking about winter putting and coming off winter putting.
Mhm.
Basically, it's one thing I'd recommend is running a winter marksman league. Kind of help you stay on top of your putting game, but this is just your basic rust you got to knock off. Like today, for instance, we were doing a little video with Robert on the side of the building, and he threw a couple shots and made the comment, I haven't thrown a disc in like how long?
Probably 2.5 months.
2.5 months.
Every bone in my body hurt
That
after
is
that
a
for a
long
second.
time.
Ow!
I don't recommend
Why
doing
did I
that,
try to throw that kind of hard?
especially on kind of a colder day,
Yeah,
to
it was
go
a,
on
it was
there
a
and just
big time
mash.
mistake. Big time mistake.
But you parked the hole, so
You know what? To be fair,
it was a good shot.
I'm making that putt.
But honestly, it's really just about getting out there and knocking the dust off, or the rust off rather, and just getting that repetition back. Really, I mean, if you have to change up your form a little bit or your stance, by all means, whatever makes you putt better.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's all that really matters.
And if you're putting, one thing that I've noticed when I come back is sometimes I come up a little bit short on putts and I'm hitting the cage a whole lot. If that's something that you've got going on, try lifting your chin up a little bit.
Yep.
And just aiming a little bit higher. That's a lot of people think of that. But lifting your chin up kind
Unless
of.
you're missing high.
That's true.
I mean, that's a horrible advice, Robert.
It's true. But if you're missing low, though, lift your chin up just a little bit. That kind of forces your posture to be up just a little bit and gets your eyes, instead of kind of like looking through your brow, you're now a little bit more facing the basket.
And honestly, that's one little tip that it goes a very long way. You would be surprised at how well that works.
100%. So yeah, just try lifting that chin up a little bit. Hey, chin up, buddy. It's gonna be okay.
Keep your chin up.
Points for a excellent use of the word brow.
Thanks.
Yep. Next question comes from
Brows. Like Anthony
Do
Davis.
those carry over to the disc golf hot takes where we keep track of all the points?
You know what I'm talking about, don't you? I got it. Like Bert and Anthony, you know?
Yeah.
When they get online,
Yeah.
we browse.
we I don't serve. I browse.
This one's from Creighton. He's asking about putting stance. Robert, great job pronouncing my first name on the last question I asked.
What's his first name again?
Creighton, Creighton.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, man.
Do I
Like
get
the
a great
college.
job?
Nope, because you heard me do it. You
No,
sucked.
When would I have heard? My question is in regards to putting stance. In preparation to make the jump to advance this next season, I have spent the off season really trying to get consistent 35 to 50 foot putts.
Nice.
In doing so, I
have those.
realized that I really like the way step putting feels. Obviously, I can't step putt in the circle, but I wanted to try and recreate that as best I could from C1 putting. This caused me to look at a staggered stance with my left foot forward rather than the traditional right foot forward. I've been putting with it for a month-ish now, and I love it, hitting around 90% of my C1 putts in casual rounds. Is there a reason why most right-handed players go right foot forward? I know comfort is the first answer that comes to mind, but is that the only reason?
It's not comfort for me. I'm trying to think of it biomechanically, right?
Mhm.
All right, so
Fluid motion.
yeah, and right foot forward means that the disc the hand that I'm putting with is closer to the basket. The shoulder is closer to the basket, so I can shift forward or shift backwards and then forwards and then extend one whole side of my body to the basket. So that's why I putt with my right foot forward.
Yeah.
I've seen like Zach Melton is left-handed and putts with his right foot forward, but his is more of like a straddle.
A staggered.
Yeah,
I
like
would
a
say.
staggered
Yeah.
straddle. It's like it's right in between. His feet are still pretty close together. I would say if it's working for you, it's not worth switching, because people putt in all sorts of different ways, and it can work for them. However, if you start to see some inconsistencies with that, putting that right foot forward and focusing on allowing the full extension of your body to the basket, I mean, that's really important. Think about like the Emacs silhouettes that you've seen when they're putting. Like he's fully outstretched to the basket. You would not be able to do that. Your body would be working against itself if he had his left foot forward.
Yeah.
So anyway.
And also, excuse me, I feel like you're going to be able to putt further.
Yeah.
Just from the momentum you're going to get on the disc as well.
100%. I would say if you're trying to emulate step putting inside the circle, focus on that weight transfer to the point where you do actually fall forward sometimes when you're practicing, because then you know just how far you can push that weight transfer to still stay behind the disc but make your putts, make sure that they get to the basket. So I've seen Zach Melton do that before. He'll get inside he'll do step putts inside the circle, fully aware that that's not legal, but just to get him in the thought process of getting that fluid swing that's I mean a little bit easier to control, because you can let all your momentum go through outside the circle.
What if I prefer to encapsulate rather than emulate? Would that make a difference?
Yeah, that actually isn't very helpful.
Oh, okay. All right, so we've talked about it before, but we're super excited as details come together more for our trip to Alaska. The Meyer Lake Classic event is taking place at Meyer Lake Course, a newly designed course by Eric McCabe, and the Eric McCabe Championship Dynamic Course Design. The event is July 18th through 19th, but we're letting you know way ahead of time because we would love to have you guys come out there. Let's see, more details is the resort is located just 50 miles from the Anchorage Airport. That's some good information to know. We'll be playing one round of 18 holes on Saturday and one round of 18 holes on Sunday at the beautiful new reserve at the Meyer Lake Disc Golf Course. Tee times will be assigned from noon to 4 p.m. each day. These tee times will be published. Oh, that's too much. What's the thing at 10 o'clock, though?
We're doing a Battle Under the Midnight Sun.
That's what it is.
As well. It's a C tier. It'll be a flex start C tier, or maybe a shotgun start. I'm not sure exactly. Yeah, I think it is a shotgun start, actually. But it starts at 10 p.m. because it's in July in Alaska where the sun doesn't go down really. So it's pretty much like 8 p.m. the entire time. Kind of like in Europe when we were up northern Sweden.
That was awesome.
So yeah, it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be such a great time. There is camping that's going to be available for $30 a night, but you get free breakfast, and there's a beautiful bathhouse with restrooms and showers, and that you are able to utilize as well. So
yeah, so I'm really looking forward to it. But we'd love to have you guys come out. Love to meet you and have you take part in this new disc golf course.
and there's going to be 2 back-to-back tournament directors of the year TD in this tournament.
Dang.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so go to discgolfscene.com and look up Meyer Lake Classic, MEIER Lake Classic. Let's get back to the questions. This one's from Hot Boy Roughwind, my brother from another mother. This is about rules. Dear Slick Daddy, Mr. Answer My Call, and always Eric McBabe. I was just watching USDGC final round first hole on Jomez, and Nate Sexton has a putt from OB. In the commentary, he says he wishes he could have taken a knee to make the putt, but there were thorns on the ground.
Oh, no.
Could he have put a towel or a pad on the ground to alleviate the thorns, or is that against the rules?
He could have manned up.
He did say make it real.
I'm
You
sorry.
were keeping it real.
You can put something down, but the
There's no thickness to it, right?
yeah, it has to compress. I think it's lower than like a centimeter or something like that. So yeah, I mean,
he absolutely could use like a towel.
he could have put down a towel, or if he has like a little pad or something that compresses when you kneel on it, he could have used that if he wanted.
Could you use memory foam? And if it shrinks down to that size, you're good to go?
Yeah, maybe so. But then it would remember the thorns that were in it, and that's probably not a good play.
Oh, yeah.
Memory's a bad thing sometimes.
Always.
Next one is from Dwayne. He says he's asking about hitting the gap. Hey, Disc Golf Answer Man crew, love the podcast, and I'm learning lots from listening to old episodes with Bobby. Wow, guys, thank you so much. I don't know.
Once again, we can't
Yeah.
see the computer screen,
It's,
so
again, just really got to believe me. Just got to believe in something. I'm a fairly new player, started in October, and having trouble with tunnel holes. I was wondering what you aim for on these types of holes. Do you focus on the basket or at the initial gap? With the snowy weather here in Nova Scotia, I haven't had a chance to go practice, but was wondering what you guys think I should work on. Keep up the great work and can't wait for the next episode.
Putting. That's what you should work on.
it's true.
Can we get a little more specific?
Putting.
Practice putting.
Practice, yeah.
Multiple putters. Now, obviously, putting is very important, but for me personally, when I'm playing a particular course that has a lot of gaps or trees and tight tunnels that I have to hit, for me personally, what I'm trying to do is hit the initial gap. If I hit the initial gap, then I've done my job, right? You can only really control the disc the first 6 to 10 feet out of your hand. And then from there, it's kind of just up to the wind and the trees and the whatever else to get through. A lot of luck involved in that. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
So for me personally, I'm not trying to aim at the basket. Sure, if it's just a dead straight tunnel shot like hole 4 at Blue Ribbon Pines kind of comes to mind. And that hole, I'm not even aiming at the basket, obviously, because it's a 9,000-foot hole. So I'm just trying to throw a mid down the middle. But typically, yes, I'm just trying to hit the initial gap and just somewhere dead center and just go from there. Really, I'm not trying to get too crazy on shots.
Yeah, I mean, if the shot moves either to the right or to the left from the gap, yeah, I'm aiming down the middle of the gap, and I'm picking my target, a very specific target, and just focusing on that's past the gap.
Sure.
I'm not trying to think about either of those two trees or whatever forms the gap at that point. If I think too much about the basket, then I might try and force, let's say it's a right turn and I'm throwing an Anheuser, I might try to force it a little bit too early and catch the right side. So, yeah, I'm just thinking about something down the middle of the gap and then just working on or focusing on my angle at that point.
All right, we're going to answer a few more questions before we end this episode. But before we go, I want to make sure we talk about these new discs that are coming out. This week, they're going to be available for retailers to order for their stores. And then on...
Nailed it.
That's funny.
What did I say?
Nothing. It just sounded like you said that these are going to be ready for retail.
Oh,
Basically, they're ready for wholesale.
they're but they'll be ready at your favorite disc golf store and dynamicdisc.com
Good.
on February 20th.
20th.
Yes. So we've got for our audio listeners, we've got the VIP Maiden, and these colors are colorful. They are
pretty
sweet looking.
colorful.
The Maiden, of course, is a putter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can you describe the
It is
Maiden
a putter.
for us?
Yeah, pretty straight. I'd say it's Anthony's favorite putter at this
Robert.
point.
Really?
Anthony would also say that.
What do you like about it, Anthony?
It's basically a Warden that's not as deep as a Warden.
With a
I don't-
bead.
So a lot
Yeah.
cooler.
Yeah, way cooler.
So it's like a
for sure.
judge.
Okay, so
No.
Like a
everyone
shallow judge.
everyone slow your roll.
Okay, we're getting sidetracked. No, it's just
Like a nice deputy. I mean,
No, it flies for me like how the Warden flies for just about everyone else. The Warden for me is just a little bit too deep, and it's just a more shallow. Throw it flat, and it just goes straight forever. Putter.
They're good, and I think these VIP ones will have just that little bit of extra stability and durable plastic for throwers. So
They do feel nice. I will say
they
that.
feel super.
and we
nice.
have the really beautiful looking OptoX Glimmer Saint and Destiny.
That's actually VIP, but that's cool.
What'd I say?
OptoX Saints.
two different companies.
VIPX Destiny.
Oh, my bad. I did a copy and paste and didn't do everything. So OptoX Glimmer Saint and a VIPX Glimmer Destiny. The Destiny, what do you got for the Destiny on, Eric?
What do I have for it?
Yeah.
It's got a cool little drum on it. Yeah, it does.
How does it throw?
Cool different like harps and I don't really throw the Destiny personally, but I am very interested in throwing these VIPX ones just because the VIPX typically adds a little bit of stability to the disc. And the reason I didn't throw the Destiny before is because it was just a little bit too understable for me, so it was a little too squirrely for my particular arm speed. But I think these came out pretty dang nice, and I think they're going to have some good stability to where I can just absolutely mash on them. So I think this is going to be like a full power, big distance tee shot type of a disc for me.
Yeah, open field, send it type disc.
And
And
they
some
look-
really cool colors.
They look fantastic. Yeah, like this pink one here looks pretty cool.
Yeah, and that purple one underneath. And then the OptoX Saint, that's going to be, it's almost like, so we made the Getaway to be kind of like an Escape Pro, kind of. But there is a little bit of, still a little bit of room in between those two discs. I think that's where the OptoX Saint is going to fit. More overstable than an Escape, less overstable than a Getaway. These have beautiful colors, and honestly, they feel super
The
good.
glimmer is just so cool too.
Yeah, they're looking
Opto
good.
X Glimmer Chameleon.
Glimmer. So that is the Opto X, and then the last one that's coming out on February 20th is the Opto X Chameleon Sapphire. That's an easy to throw driver.
Are they X plastic?
No, those should
No,
just
these
be
are just
regular.
first run.
Are
These
you
are just
sure?
chameleon.
Oh,
yeah.
just Chameleon. My
Opto
fault.
chameleon.
I got
Sapphire.
carried away. We got lots of X.
It ain't
Anyway,
easy, is it, Robert?
is it not? When
Sometimes.
you're holding all of them and you can see them. Okay. Anyway, I'm obviously joking.
No, you're not.
So the let me have just one of them. So the Opto Chameleon Sapphire. These are, by the way, freaking sweet. The idea behind these is to have a natural step up from the diamond and the jade for people who are looking for lighter distance drivers. Can I just finish this, please? People who are looking for just a little bit more distance but don't quite have the arm to step up to like a Renegade or a Trespass or something like that. Yeah, these actually feel really good. I'm interested in trying them out and seeing just how stable they are. Because for most players now who've been playing for a little while, they'll start out with something like the Diamond or the Jade and just kind of outgrow it as like a go-to driver. Maybe they'll use it as for long anhizers or rollers or something like that. But I think this is going to be a nice transition for people who are stepping up to distance drivers.
And they're all only lightweights too. Did
Correct.
you mention that? Yeah.
You come and go. All right, let's get back to the questions. And again, these are going to be, they are available if you're a retailer and you're listening. By the time this goes out, no, it'll be available Thursday, February 13th for you to order for your store. If you frequently shop a Disc Golf Pro Shop. Oh, yep, sorry. February 12th?
Yeah,
My bad.
12.
February 12th. Correction. February
Tomorrow.
12th. Tomorrow. So,
Or today.
if what was I saying? Oh, if you shop a Disc Golf Pro Shop, you want to make sure and tell them, hey guys, I want these discs. So get on that and order them. February 20th for the retail if you want to order them online or walk into your store and buy them.
Chad loves his diamond. He's going to love this sapphire then.
Nice. Next question comes from Richard. He has some waitlist woes. I registered for an A tier recently in an age-protected pro division. Since I didn't get on Disc Golf Scene, the second registration opened. I ended up on the wait list at number 3. Ooh, that sounded a little bitter. He says, since I didn't get on Disc Golf Scene, the second registration opened. I ended up on the wait list at number 3.
Okay.
The very next day, 4 positions were added to my division. However, instead of getting the draw, I wound up number 1 on the wait list. I emailed the TD twice for an explanation, but never heard back. The PDGA Competition Manual 1.02F states that multiple entities entries received simultaneously go to the lowest PDGA number. I have no way of knowing if this is why I didn't get in or if I just got screwed over. Are TDs bound by the PDGA guidelines, or can they put whomever they want in the draw? I'm guessing I'm not the only person that has ever had this happen to.
I guarantee you're not the first person that's ever had this happen to, but there is absolutely guidelines that you have to follow.
Yes.
And
So
that-
it sucks that it happened to you, Richard. I'm sorry that it happened to you. Again, we don't know their side of the story. They could have followed the guidelines to the T, and you just happened to not get into the event. So I know that, again, that stinks, but it happens. Next question comes from.
You want to do some speak pipe questions?
Sure.
We've got a few.
Oh, that's right.
This one is coming to us from Wesley.
What's up, Disc Golf Answer Man crew? Wesley does disc golf, and I've got a question about throws and what counts. I was watching the Zootown Open from last year on Central Coast Disc Golf's channel, and Grady Shue in the second
knew this
round
was
was
going, yeah.
about to throw his disc. He was
Oh.
going through his X step,
There it
and when
goes.
he planted his foot, he planted in like a dip or a dent in the tee pad. and tried to stop his throw, but he was already starting his pull. And he, in an attempt to stop the throw, he kind of tucked the disc back in and turned, but it came out to his right, and he threw it about 10 feet off the tee pad, 90 degrees, perpendicular to the line he was trying to throw. And I was just curious because the end of 802.01 reads, each throw that is made as in a competitive attempt to change the lie is counted. So would that have counted? Because when the disc came out, at that point, it wasn't his competitive attempt to change his lie. It was just him trying to hold on to the Frisbee, and it came out of his hand to his right. So would you guys have counted that? Because I noticed in the coverage he played from the disc like 10 or 15 feet to the right of the tee pad. Thanks, guys.
Spoiler alert, he saved par.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Unfortunately, yes. If I was there, I probably would have considered it a throw because he was in the full throwing motion. Just because he was trying to stop doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah.
He was in the throwing motion. He was on the tee. He was doing his full run up. His arm was coming through, and he just tried to hold on to the disc and let it go. Unfortunately, it was a throw. One that you could argue for would be Valerie then Jenkins at Maple Hill was lining up a putt. Like on, I think it was hole number 4, the little downhill hole that shoots with the water right behind it.
Oh, yeah.
She was lining up a putt, and she kind of, when she lines up her putt, kind of points the putter at the basket, and it was uphill. Well, when she did that, it fell out of her hand. It literally just fell 3 feet in front of her. And she stops and looks around and doesn't even, without hesitation, grabs the mini, marks it, and then jams the putt.
Yeah.
That's one that I think you could almost argue that she wasn't throwing.
Yeah,
And it didn't even go 6 feet, which is what the rule is, I believe, correct?
Now, why would you argue that one and not Grady's?
Because she was obviously not in a throwing motion. She wasn't planning to throw. Grady was on a full run-up on a tee pad. Plus, the fact that the disc only went like 2-3 feet. The rule does state
I think it's 5 meters now, but
okay,
it's
well,
something
that's still
like that,
under
yeah.
6 feet.
yeah. That's that, but that rule is for if you're tossing a disc back to your baggers or
Yeah,
like
of course.
discarding
Yeah,
it.
just throwing it to you.
Yeah.
Which
I
is
would
dumb.
argue. I would argue that if I were Grady and I had known, because I didn't know that rule. If I had known that rule, I would argue it, and then I would, if the card would not have allowed me to, I would say I'm throwing a provisional.
You would
could
be
do that all
you'd
day
be
if you
welcome
want.
to.
Yeah, sure, do it all day.
And then it would be under the TD's discretion. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But how would the TD know he wasn't there?
It definitely
You
would.
gonna take a
But
video of it and then send it to him?
you can't do that.
Oh.
We argued about it. Come on. But unfortunately for Grady, like even though he tried to stop his motion, it was already in motion, right? And so like, and his arm came through. It'd be just like you can't draw a line. Like let's say I grip lock something way right, 40 degrees right of target. I could say, well, I wasn't trying to advance. I tried to hold. I slipped and I tried to hold on to it, but I couldn't.
Yeah, but he didn't slip because he had poor shoes on, or he's clumsy.
Sure.
He slipped because there was something wrong with the tee pad.
Right, but then there are little dips in the course all over the course sometimes, and
It doesn't necessarily just have to be on a tee pad. It could be on a second shot.
Yeah.
On a par 5 or something.
So
Not to mention
I might argue
the
a
other,
little bit more, but not
the
much
other-
more, because those are good points.
you
Those
could
are-
definitely have
those
argued,
are valid points.
but you'd have gotten overruled 100 times.
how do you
out
know?
of
You're
100.
not there.
I
You weren't there when I did it.
every person would have overruled that, but I understand what you mean.
Who would be on my side? YouTube, let me know. While we're getting answers on that from YouTube, would you be on my side? Would you let me throw again? We'll get.
I'd
one
let you
more.
throw again. You just got to take stroke penalty.
Yeah, you just throw 2.
Let's get one more speak pipe in.
This one is coming to us from Dean.
Williams?
Aberdeen.
Bobby Cool Daddy Slick Breeze.
Dang.
Robert Macaulay Culkin. And E. MacDonald had a farm.
Sick.
Good voice, right?
Nailed it.
We
I
got
love
song. You didn't.
Opto X Ballista Pros, and especially when they're broken in. I don't like them up until that point when they're brand new. What do I do to get them to fly like I've been throwing them into trees for a year? without having to throw them into trees for a year. I've tried them in different plastics, snow line, gold line, and they just don't get that same Opto Ballista Pro really beat in flight. What can I do within PDGA guidelines, guys? I want these things to fly like that. Like you. Bye.
Like you. I have a lot of respect for that SpeakPipe question. It was fantastic.
What disc was it? Was it Ballista Pro?
Opto X Ballista Pro, yeah.
Opto X Ballista Pro.
Yes.
Wow. Well, I guess I think you answered it in the question, though. My first thought would be just get a gold line Ballista Pro because it's going to be the same mold, but not be quite as overstable. But then again, a beat-in Opto X Ballista Pro flies like that already. So my next suggestion would be even drop down one more and just throw a Ballista. If you're in dire need of something, say you lose your go-to beat-in Opto X Ballista Pro and you have an event coming up and you don't have a replacement, which you should buy 20 of those things anyway and cycle them in and out of your bag. I mean, there's a thought, but...
Yeah.
It's a tough thought, but at the same time, if you don't have that, which I completely understand why you wouldn't have that, is just grab a Ballista and see how the thing flies for you. Just kind of change that if you absolutely needed it for like an event or something like that if you don't have time to break in a new one. That's my suggestion.
I can dig that. I would also say when I'm trying to work in a disc from brand new, when I go out to play, I will throw that disc on every hole regardless of if it's a good hole for that disc. Even if I don't want it to be my actual tee shot, I'll throw my actual tee shot and then I'll throw that disc after, just so it starts to hit the ground a little bit more, hit some trees, stuff like that. It just kind of speeds up the beat-in process. I've also just thrown massive spike hyzers before, just so that it hits the ground hard. That doesn't hurt. Sometimes I have thrown a massive spike hyzer that landed on concrete. That doesn't hurt. Well, it hurts the disc, but it helps you getting to it being beat up a little bit more. Yeah, some
or
things
just
to
throw it
consider.
down roads. Yeah, just do what you got to do.
Yeah. And Kyle Smith threw us a $10 super chat. He said, thank you.
Wow, thank you, Kyle.
Thank you, Kyle. I appreciate that.
I appreciate that. Oh, you said that.
Been
All
watching the comments, and not one person has said they're on Bobby's side.
That's weird.
Nobody? Have they said they're against me?
No.
No, nobody cares.
Just
Nobody's listening. Apparently nobody cares either way. All right, so that's it for this episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man. We are shutting off YouTube now. We're going to be back next week with more answers. Make sure you send them in to discgolfanswerman.com, and you'll see a button where you can submit your disc golf questions. We will try to get them on the air. Please remember that we are being a much more pickier than we have in the past about our questions. So if you don't get your question answered on the air, we will try to maybe send you an email. That's also something that Danny is working on. You can send in a video of your form to thegamform@gmail.com, and you'll get some advice from Danny about your form. So that's going to be cool. It's stuff that he's working on there. Got lots going on. The disc golf season, I've been talking to our touring pros, and they're getting pumped up. You can follow them on social media. AJ Risley's vacuum out his car. Tina is cleaning out her RV. Paige has been cleaning out her RV. So many people. Oh, sorry. Oh, it's Gmail. Oh, why am I answering? Anyway, Paige, she was cleaning out her RV and things like that. So people are getting super excited, stoked for the tour season. Should be good to go. We'll be right back with for our audio listeners, you'll hear from us tomorrow, but for our YouTubers, stay tuned. We're going to be having our hot take. It's going to be interesting. We don't even know what it is. Me and Robert don't know what it is, but Eric is making it up as we talk about it, so we'll see what it is.
Yes.
We'll see you guys. Thanks.
But hey, before you go, if you're listening to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, any of those places, we would love if you would go to the Disc Golf Audio channel and just drop us a review there. You can have it be whatever stars you'd like. But we would really prefer if it was 5 stars.
Five of them.
Because that helps us to show up earlier in the search results, and it helps other people to find our show just like you have. So if you haven't done so already, please go and submit a review for us.
5 stars.
Thank you very much.
We out. Really, YouTube? You really disappoint me.
Well, it's because you're wrong.
Oh.
You hate to see
That's
it.
not the point.
No, Warren says casual round on Bobby's side 100%.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
That's
if
not a
we're- if
casual round,
no,
though.
no,
This is a tournament we're talking
Well,
about.
at least I've got somebody
No,
on my
you
side.
don't.
Warren,
No, you do
I will
not.
play a round with you.
You do not have anybody on your
Warren,
side.
you are not invited to play around with
You
I'm
are
just kidding.
invited to play a round with me.
I am on the yoke.
A yoke.
All right. Anybody got to go take a break? A little.
I'm good. Thank you guys for tuning in, by the way. Hey, if you're still here and you are getting ready for Disc Golf Hot Takes, if you wouldn't mind liking the video, we'd love to get this thing over, let's say 40 likes. Can we get up to 40 likes? That'd be awesome.
Where are we at as far as concurrent
Boom.
viewers?
Oh,
We're at
yes, I did.
152 right now.
Where are we at? What was our peak?
The highest I saw was in the 180s today.
Last time we had 220. I think,
Yeah,
or
we were well
210.
into the 200s last time.
I think the biggest difference, Anthony, we need to remember to push this out early. As far as, I think I remember, like in the morning, I'd push stuff out last time, and I don't know if that makes a big difference, but it'd be great to
I'll
see.
start
if
on
that
next
was
week
a
right now.
right now.
Right now.
All right, so
Are we not wearing headphones for this one?
I took them off.
Okay.
his hot take is so hot. He has.
It's
to take
so
his
hot I
headphones
can't
off.
even handle it.
All right, so I want to do the.
Are we ready? Or are you starting?
Well, I'm thinking,
Oh,
how did we
that's-
do the
that was
intro last
crazy.
time?
No, okay. What needs to happen with the just to say like welcome to Disc Golf Hot Takes, you mean? Or like
No.
or the person that introduces the take. The person that introduces the take
So.
needs to say let's use yours from last week. You would say, I believe that if animals were to play
XYZ.
disc golf, the best animal at disc golf would be a chimpanzee.
Should
Jellyfish.
we should probably say a quick intro to so people understand.
Yes,
Go ahead, do that.
Yeah,
We need
And-
to start
okay,
off
all
with
right,
that.
cool. Okay, I'll do that. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Disc Golf Hot Takes. Now, this is where one of us takes a stance, has an opinion, tells us what it is, and then we debate it whether we agree with it or not. Some of these can be based off reality. Some of them may not be based on reality at all. Those will probably all come from me.
More than likely. Now, let it be said and let it be known. Just because one of us argues for something doesn't mean that we actually believe that thing.
100% it means that.
It does not mean that. But we're out here to have
We
a good
out
time
here.
and to talk about disc golf and sometimes
We out here.
If you
Sometimes-
disc golf
sometimes
and
we-
sometimes disc golf adjacent topics.
Like jellyfish.
See?
If you have a strong opinion, make sure you go to the Disc Golf Answer Man Facebook group and find the links to this episode and let us know your opinion. All right, Eric
I'm
McCabe,
glad it's my week because my phone is broke, so I can't Google anything on my phone like
the
last
floor
time.
is yours.
All right, guys. So I gave this a little bit of thought, and my take
I'm excited.
for this week is
Hold on. Can we make bets on if it's going to be better than Bobby's or not? I'll
Yes.
take the over.
over,
Easy over.
way over,
Yeah.
and way over. Oh,
I'll take the in between.
okay, perfect.
Can
So
we do
still
that?
over.
Okay, sorry. Continue. Let's do it.
All right. So my take this week is going to be, I believe that the PDGA should ban headphones
Ooh.
or earplugs or whatevers from being
Buds.
utilized. Earbuds, that's the word I was
Yeah.
looking for. Thank you. From being used during PDGA play. The reasoning I feel strongly about this is I've played with many people over the years that have worn headphones or earbuds or whatever, listen to music, and sometimes they don't even listen to anything. They just want you to think that they are listening to something, so you leave them alone. In my opinion, everybody in the group needs to be engaged in the group, whether or not they talk or communicate, however that works. You still need to be involved. I don't want to have to track you down to ask you what your score was after a hole.
Yeah, come on.
So if you're, I pick on you because he took his headphones off in between. So obviously
Yeah.
Robert is on that side.
I agree with Eric.
I don't want to have to look across the course at you and be like, Bobby, and yell at you and ask what you got.
Well, my ears are so bad, you probably have to do that anyway.
That's fair. But-
Excuse me.
Okay, so
But
I'm
also before we go on,
Oh, yes.
this could very well be a performance enhancing whatever you want to call it.
So I listen to headphones when I go to Walmart, when I go shopping other places. I am a avid music listener. I love listening to music.
So do I.
I love
or podcasts too.
So as one of the things I love about disc golf is it is a what do they call it?
Sport?
Self-governing?
No, it's not a team sport.
A sport? An individual sport?
Individual sport.
Okay, got it.
Meaning it's up to me to
Unless
perform
you
at my
play in
best.
doubles.
It's not up to other people's. I don't have to rely on other people's performance. Because it's an individual sport, as an individual, as long as I'm not
unless
hurting
it's doubles.
anybody else, harming anybody else, I should say, I think I should be able to listen to music whenever I want. Now I agree, as long as I am paying attention. But just like if anybody else, if they weren't wearing headphones, and let's say they're in La La Land walking around and they don't pay attention, or someone loses a disc and they don't help, they should be warned about it. What does it matter if I'm wearing headphones and have some jams going?
Here's one. Here's a reason. Are you ready for this? That hurt. It sounded like it hurt. Are you ready for this reason?
Ow.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so we're playing the course, right?
Mm.
And we'll just say me and you were on a card,
Okay.
right? And Robert's playing behind us.
I'm beating everybody up.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we're on the lead card.
Dang it,
Robert's on chase card.
You hate to see it.
But
Probably third.
so it's kind of like a backup or whatever, and we're just hanging out, whatever. You're jamming your tunes and doing what you do, right?
Right.
Well, all of a sudden, everybody that's not wearing headphones hears Robert yell 4 because he threw an errant drive, and all of a sudden, you're over here just jamming along, and then bam, you
Is
get
that
hit
how
in the
I jam?
head. I mean, safety. There's safety involved as well.
Well, but then I take that risk. I take on that risk.
That's why the PDGA needs to step in and be like, we need to eliminate this to prevent Bobby Brown from coming and trying to sue us
now.
for playing a PDGA
It
tournament.
wasn't during a sanctioned event. I was flying the drone, and while I was in Florida, I did not have headphones on, and I still got bopped in the head by a disc.
But think just how much more you would have gotten hit in the head
if you didn't
were.
know it was coming. If you couldn't hear it coming.
I see what you're saying, but
Safety.
I still think that I just like any other thing that I assume the risk. Smoking, if I wanted, now I'm not talking about smoking during an event. I know that that's not legal, but my point is that there's all kinds of warnings. There's all kinds of things that say smoking is bad for you. But as an American, I make that choice. I say if I want to smoke, I want to smoke. I don't smoke, by the way.
Well, as an
because it's terrible for you.
American-based company, the PDGA should make it illegal.
I know we're not giving points yet, but can we give a preliminary point to Eric for that one? Ding, ding, ding. Just write down, just pencil in a point there.
So I still say, as long as I am paying attention, as long as I don't interrupt, I should be able to listen to music. I should be able to listen to music because I'm not causing any harm. I'm not causing any backups. I'm not causing anybody. I'm paying attention. If a call needs to be made, I'm there. I'm still in the zone. I just happen to be listening to my aunt Enya, Michael.
Okay. Honestly, lots of good points being made on both sides here, which is something new for us on Disc Golf Hot Takes. I'm just kidding.
You're welcome.
I'm just kidding. Fantastic. Okay. Here's a question that I have. All right. So you say, Bobby, that when you put on headphones, you assume the personal safety, like your safety, you assume the responsibility if you get hit with a disc.
Correct.
Okay. So you're playing a tournament and somebody on another hole decides to be reckless, right? And they go for a shot they should never go for, and it crosses over a fairway that you're on, and they don't even know to yell for because it's so far offline because they're being an idiot, and you get hit with that disc. Does it matter whether they yelled for to you or not? Or are you going to say, man, I got hit by a disc, I should have been paying more attention, if they were playing recklessly?
Well, I mean, when I drive a car on the highway, the risk I take is
You
that
wear headphones?
No, but I jam.
Pardon me. What's the phone number for the Emporia Police Department?
911.
Yeah, I never remember that one.
When I go on this is just an example. I think when I go driving on a car, I assume that everybody else is going to obey the laws and the rules.
Sure.
And so I take my safety in my own hands in that way. What's the difference there? I fully expect others to practice the rules, which is they have to pay attention and they have to not be idiots.
Okay. Now, here's another thing. Not everybody. See, that's a very level-headed response, and I appreciate that you made it. Not
seem so
everybody.
surprised.
No. I'm saying
Again, he's still surprised.
no. I obviously I think that's good.
Yeah.
Not everybody is as level-headed as you, and
Sure.
But
on a
somebody-
whole, there are more level-headed people. And in other words, if I play the odds are in my favor that someone isn't going to be reckless.
I'm saying for the people who are wearing headphones, not everybody is going to have the same amount of personal responsibility that you do.
Well, then the
So-
onus is on them.
Says who?
Why big?
But-
Big government
okay.
stepping in and telling me what
Look,
to do?
But says who? Who makes the call? Who's responsible for that sort of thing? Because I mean, I feel like in a court of law, yes, I put on headphones, but I didn't stand in the way of where the disc was supposed to be. I think it's just like if we're out playing baseball and like just out playing casually, somebody hits a home run and it hits somebody's car. The person who hit that ball is responsible for the damage to their car, to that car. Correct.
Okay.
I think it was the person who threw the meatball.
We're not arguing.
Yeah,
We're not. Wait a minute. We're not arguing who's responsible.
Right.
The idiot who threw the disc
Oh.
in my direction is responsible.
Dude,
Okay. So
He's
okay.
responsible, but I'm willing to take that risk that there won't be that
I
idiot.
wouldn't say
Okay,
idiot.
but wait, hold on.
Blind
You're saying
hole.
that person is responsible,
Right.
but you take personal responsibility if you get hurt, but they're responsible for what they did. So who's at fault here? Like what happens? Like
He would be at
because,
fault.
Okay. How could he be
wait.
at fault, but you claim personal responsibility?
Because I follow the rules. The rule says I can wear headphones. The rules doesn't say you can throw errant shots wherever you want to.
Okay, let's say we're in the situation where
That's
we're
minus a
talking
point for Bobby, because that's just ridiculous.
How is that minus? That's exactly.
Where's the pencil? Let's
Who's
get
your
let's
calling
get a minus
somebody
point.
an
Okay,
idiot?
okay.
What if it's a blind hole?
Wait,
What if somebody's
if
around a
someone
corner?
threw off a tee
This
pad
is
and
a
they
tournament
threw
we're
it
talking about.
way off course?
Okay, let's.
Why are
Who
you
broke
calling
the
that guy an
rule?
idiot?
Who
He
broke
didn't
the
break a
rule?
rule. There's no rule there.
It's
There's
not
no
a rule, but
that says I can't throw the big spike hyzer over the top of the tree.
that's
He
true
didn't
because
say Spike Heiser. He said an idiot throws an idiot throw.
He did not say the word idiot. You said the word
Actually,
idiot.
he said idiot.
I don't remember what I said.
He said
Either
idiot.
way.
Did he
Bobby-
not say idiot, Anthony?
If there were a
Either
rule
way.
saying that you cannot throw bad shots, there would be far less disc golfers than there are.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, but
a fact.
here, okay, then let's
The way he explained it, may okay,
sure,
go ahead, yeah.
but let's disregard that example. Let's say it's more like the one that Eric was talking about earlier, where you're on a backup, and the next tee pad is somewhat close to the basket, and they're throwing the type of shot that normally would get over to the basket, but they just pulled it a little bit wide, and it happens to hit you. They weren't being an idiot. They missed their shot just a little bit, and that hits you. So you are saying that you
Ish
went.
happens. Stuff
Well,
happens.
that's true.
right.
Okay, but
I don't
But
need-
then who's responsible for that?
No one. That's accidents happens. That's why they call it.
So
an
you're
accident.
saying that every disc golfer who puts on headphones and gets hit with a disc, they're going to turn around and be like, "Oh, well, accidents happen." No freaking way that happens.
I never said that. I said I would say
That's
accidents
you.
happen.
But
But that's
rules can't be made just for
for
you.
the level-headed among us.
Right.
Yes, they
that's
need to be
that's
made
what I
for-
don't. That's what I don't like is that rules get made because of the outliers and they affect everybody. That's why I say no, because I don't think that rules should be made because one or two screws it for the rest of us.
I'm gonna go with this one, and this is
That's wrong.
totally
Completely wrong.
this is totally a middle ground, and I am aware that I am standing on the fence when I say this. However, I do think it is a good solution to the problem at hand.
Just play music on big loudspeakers for everybody.
Everyone gets a personal speaker.
Oh,
You
there
you
you
may
go.
play it as loud as you. No, that's
And you
not,
may
that's
play
not-
whatever
that's
you
not what I was
want.
gonna say. Okay, so
82 different
Get some good raves going on.
Pandora playlists.
that is
going.
correct. Okay, so Jerome in the chat earlier said OSHA allows one headphone in the workplace, so that should be the standard. And I can fully get on board
interesting.
with only
That's
allowing
interesting.
one headphone because you get the best of both worlds. You can drown out the competition if you want to as much as possible. I mean, you're still going to be able to hear some stuff, but that's beneficial for safety and for responsibility. Like you can hear when somebody says four, you can hear if a disc is coming, but you can also allow yourself to not be so covered up in distractions. Sure. I would if we were going this route, I would say if we were going to do this, then I would either do no headphones completely, but I don't think that's possible. So OSHA, I mean, I'm not going to advocate for everything that they do nor say that they do a bunch of bad stuff, but they have a lot of rules that they've researched. If they come up with a rule that they think is good for a workplace, I'd say that's probably not a bad solution for disc golf.
I could see that as a compromise.
Yeah.
it's definitely a compromise.
Now, I'm
now
well
back
aware.
to, now we haven't done the whole performance enhancing angle.
That's true. we
Okay,
have not.
yeah, I'm ready for that.
Now,
So my thought was
Yeah.
Bobby just took a 10 on
Yes.
a hole. You know,
Okay,
I'm just using
yes.
you because you have headphones and you love it and you love your Enya. Bobby needs to find his chill zone,
And
so
Yanni.
he starts listening to Enya
Yanni.
or Yanni
Yeah.
from Sweden, Finland.
Yeah.
And this isn't necessarily an argument that I personally believe in by any means. The performance enhancing,
Right.
Sure.
I want to say drug, but it's not. But it can be. What are your thoughts there? That could calm somebody down, and it's an advantage that somebody else could have.
Now, I think Danny and Anthony should know that I do listen to a wide variety of music depending on my mood, because I like to play it really loud. And there are times when I play action scores from music, from movies, and it gets me pumped. Or I'll even shout out and I'll say, guys, it's time for a jam, because I'll be just like can't think of any ideas. I'm just like been staring at the computer so long. I'm like, guys, I got a jam, and I'll play some
Jammy jams,
some old school hip hop.
which I'm down with.
I completely agree that music does enhance, can enhance, and in a sense, enhance your mood, affects your mood, which therefore would affect your performance.
Look at Rocky.
My thing is if that is the reason, if the PDGA says because there are enhancement qualities to music, then I would have to say, and maybe I could be wrong about this, then maybe like energy drinks can't be drank during an event. To me, that's enhancing. Now, obviously, smoking is not legal in majors,
I think it's
NTs and above. I believe.
NTs and above. Why can they be allowed in any sanctioned event? Why any smoking? That, to me, is also maybe not an enhancing, but it
calms you
alters
down.
your state.
Absolutely.
It alters your state. So I would say if you're going to take that away from me because of enhancement, then you've got to go across the board and take away energy drinks, even soda that has caffeine, tea, coffee, anything that alters your state of mind, I think would have to be eliminated.
Unless you're a diabetic.
Well, that's different because that's, to me, if you're a diabetic, then medically you need that
sugar rush.
Right.
all right. So here it is. I'm ready to take a hard stance.
Here we
Oh
go.
boy.
Here it is. I don't think that the PDGA can right now ban headphones because it kind of takes us down that slippery slope of other advantages. If they go the route of advantages.
I don't think,
I think
that's
they've
the
allowed-
route that they would go, though. I
No.
really don't think
What
they're
do you
going to
think?
step up and
The
say,
enhancement?
hey,
Yeah.
we think that this is going to enhance people's play. We're going to take this away.
Yeah,
I
no,
think they're going to
the-
take it away for the fact of it being a safety issue. And,
Sure.
yeah, that would be my look on it, why the PDGA would do it. If
Right.
they did it because of the enhancing, then it's a little else.
Yeah,
Okay, that's fair.
I would say that.
So what's your hard stand?
All right, then I'm going for one. I'm saying one headphone. If we're gonna go for it, I can say you can have one headphone in. No, that you can't do that. Yep, one headphone in. That's all you can do.
What were you going to say?
I was gonna say if within your 30 seconds of throwing, you can put in both headphones for the sake of distractions. You could do that, but then you still have the safety issue. Now, it's only, however, 30 seconds times however many times you throw during the round if you do that every single time.
Sure.
So it greatly minimizes the safety issue. However, it still has the safety issue.
All right.
I'm going with one headphone.
Who's the winner, Anthony?
One headphone.
No, and your opinion, you have to be unbiased.
I'm definitely not going with Robert.
Well, yeah, because I had to go last, and these two already took the good ideas.
So you
show-
could have agreed.
The show is called Hot Takes, and you took the most room temperature take possible.
Yeah, after the two hot takes were taken.
You can very clearly side with one of them.
This is true.
Well, yeah, but if you side, how are you ever going to win by siding with somebody?
ganging up on him.
So we could just have points taken
Drop
away
the
from.
leg.
We could just have points taken
Sweep
away.
the leg.
Sweep
Come
the leg.
on, Robert.
Hold on. So if I do, all right. So say it's like this again next time, and I
Which it
just
will be.
agree with Eric. The result is that we take points away from Bobby. Is that so? There's no winner, but there's a loser. I'm interested in switching my stance now if points get taken away from Bobby.
yeah, that's going to be your only
I will agree with
motivation.
Eric. I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's
Sure, yeah.
I accept the verdict
We
this time.
can go soccer scoring, where if there's two people, you each get one.
It's a tie.
If you're by yourself and you
Ooh,
win,
yeah.
you get 3.
Oh,
yeah, that's cool.
Very
Go with
good.
So give me 3 from last time. Thank you. Anyway, moving on.
Okay. So I
The
think
animals.
I think
You win an orangutan. Oh.
No, I
Three
get
orangutans.
no, I get 3 eagles. 3 eagles.
you go get those for yourself.
Orangutans would be much funner. Much
That is
fun.
so true.
Funner.
That is so true.
I think for this one, I would go with Bobby.
Dang.
I think you're right.
I realistically thought you were going to say
Hey,
Eric
dude,
because
see-
I the most agree with Eric.
Yeah.
But
Not to
Bobby did
mention-
argue. Bobby articulated his points exceptionally well.
He did. He did. He argued well. However,
He was just wrong.
he was just wrong.
Well, that's not the point, right?
No, no,
I'm not
it is
supposed
the
to
point.
Pick, am I supposed to pick who wins or who I think had the best argument?
Who had the best argument?
Yeah.
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 So I think I go with Bobby.
I don't know. My PDGA in America.
That
Pretty dang.
It is
spot
currently
on.
in America.
All right, guys.
That gets half a pencil.
I
That's
will,
enough of
I
our-
will go with Eric for the best one-liner.
One line. There you go. All right. Thanks, guys, for tuning in for our hot takes. Tune in next week where we have another hot take, and that's will be Robert's turn.
Ooh, look
So,
out. You guys suck.
Robert will have a hot take, and neither Eric nor I will know the hot take, and we will have to argue our points. We'll see you guys in the next one.